Russia will deal with Turkey, but it's not. They're not suddenly saying, "Well, we can never trust the Turks again." That's like you saying. That's like people saying we can never trust the Russians again because the Russians believe that Crimea was part of Russia. Russians say, but it is part of Russia, And we always said it was. So who did we betray? Well, the Turks have always said that Aleppo was part of Turkey. So who did they betray? If they've always said that, who did they betray? So I think we're looking at just a redefinition of relation. I think Turkey's going to come out of this stronger. I think Iran is going to come out of this weaker. I think Russia has taken a political hit, but this concept, of the Mediterranean, Russia was never, even with this, not a major Mediterranean power. People need to know that the Russian naval base and air base in Syria could be destroyed in a day by a concerted American attack. Well, Russia has the S-400, not enough of them. No strategic depth, no ability to immediately resupply. And the Russians know this too. Now, the fear is that if they did that, that it could turn into a broader conflict. So it's the fear of a broader conflict that has prevented that kind of decisive action taking place. But, the Russian military presence in Syria is not a sustainable presence unless the Syrian government continues to invite them there politically. So Russia is going to have to make some adjustments, but it's not the strategic defeat of Russia. Russia has not been strategically defeated. It's a tactical setback. Iran is a different story. Iran right now is in a we talked about this earlier, just a fundamental internal debate about where they want to go and what they want to be. The axis of resistance, which was this great victory. I mean, hell, if you'd interviewed me, you did interview me a couple of weeks ago. I'd have been on about how the axis of resistance is stronger than today than it's ever been. They're victorious. They're dominant. Today we're having a different conversation because something happened that nobody predicted, and it changes everything. I'm as guilty as everybody else. I mean, but I don't live in Syria, so I can at least say that I'm a prisoner to the data that I'm able to get from those who live in Syria. What about Vanessa Beeley? She lived in Syria. Did she not see the corruption? Did she not see what the reality? All these observers that are there. I'm not condemning them for being pro-Assad. I can't say I was pro-Assad, but I was sympathetic to. I wanted Assad to succeed. I felt that a Syria led by Bashar al-Assad, once it could be stabilized, would be conducive to stability throughout the region. But the people that lived there, couldn't they get a sense of what the reality was? And if they didn't get the sense, why? Why is it that they weren't able to say, I'd like to ask the question of the Russian ambassador. What reports were you sending back to Moscow? Maybe he was saying the real thing, the unhealthy relationship. That maybe look at how quickly Russia adjusted to this. I think it's because Russia sort of knew this was coming. Because they tried the reform in 2018, didn't happen. Assad got brought back. He got summoned in July. He went back to Moscow to have discussions. What about the Iranians? This couldn't have taken them by surprise. They're there. I mean, why was everybody taken by surprise for this thing? That's the question. It's not that people like me failed, the community by getting it wrong. Okay, we got it wrong, but we got it wrong because the data, there was no way you interpreted the data 3 weeks ago to get this outcome. There's not a single geopolitical analyst out there that said, yep, no, I saw this. I predicted this happening. Not one. Now you're going to find the one. But it's always dangerous to say not one. But nobody out there was calling this. It happened out of the blue. And I think that one of the questions that has to be answered is, why wasn't this foreseen? Why did people who lived in Syria not see this coming? And, hopefully we'll get the answers. I don't know when Bashar al-Assad is going to give an interview, but man, I'd kill to get that interview, because I'd ask him some very tough questions about how did this happen, and what did he know, and when did he know it? When did he know this was going to happen? At what point in time did he he recognized that it's over? I mean, he made no effort to communicate to the Syrian people, no effort. Saddam Hussein, as bad as people like to portray him, at the end, Saddam Hussein went to different parts of Baghdad in the final days and made himself known. He wanted to fight. There's when the Marines came in Adamiyah, Saddam was at a church there, personally exchanging gunfire with the Marines. He wanted to go down in a hail of bullets, and it was his bodyguards that came up and said, "No, we're out of here." And they took him and they put him into hiding in around Tikrit. But Saddam at least tried to fight. Assad, he made no effort to go to the front line and rally the troops. Make fun of Lukashenko all you want. That guy got off a helicopter carrying a machine gun saying, if you guys want to take me down, there's going to be a fight. But Assad didn't. There was no visible effort for Assad to rally the troops. No presidential statement, no going to the front lines, being filmed, talking to the generals. Let's go, guys, let's go. Come on, troops, rallying around the troops. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Just gone. Why? Because he knew that it was over. But if he knew that, why didn't anybody else know that? These are questions that still need to be answered.
On Saturday, I talked with Professor Marandi from Iran. He said that the way that Turkey is behaving is so unbelievable, and the way that they're helping Israel. Here is Alexander Dugin today tweeting that Syria was a trap for Erdogan. He has made a strategic mistake. He has betrayed Russia. He had betrayed Iran. He is doomed. Now the end of Kemal's Turkey has begun. We have supported you until now. From now on, you'll repent. And if you remember, Scott, in those days in 2016, when there was a coup against Erdogan in Turkey, the two countries who stood by Erdogan and his administration and tried to help him as much as possible were Iran and Russia. And the way that they're talking about Erdogan right now is totally different from what we've seen so far. What's your
but be careful. Be careful. Alexander Dugin, as much as I respect his intellectualism, he's not the Russian government. He doesn't even represent the majority of Russia. He's a man, a very conservative background, speaking from the heart. That might be his position. Has Lavrov said this? Has Lavrov come out and said that Turkey's betrayed Russia and that it's over? Nope. Has Putin come out and said that? Nope. I respect Dr. Marandi. I have high regard for him. But has the Iranian president come out and said that Turkey's betrayed Iran? Has the supreme leader come out and said that? I'm here to tell you right now, Turkey betrayed nobody. Turkey betrayed nobody. There's people who are unhappy with the outcome. Unhappy with the outcome. But how can you accuse Turkey of betraying anybody when Turkey always said that it wants Aleppo, at least under its sphere of influence? Who have they betrayed? Russia? Iran? Yeah, Russian intelligence gave Erdogan a heads up about the coup. Why? He's a sovereign leader of a sovereign state. Russia doesn't want unrest in a place. So they did that. Russia didn't do it because they love Erdogan. They did it because out of their own, national security interests. The same thing with Iran. But Iran, why is it that suddenly Turkey's betrayed Iran in Syria? Did Turkey betray Iran in Armenia? Nagorno-Karabakh, there's bigger problems. The Iranians have said they're not going to allow this corridor to be built, through southern Armenia, that they would go to war. That's an existential issue. Why didn't Iran go to war for Syria? Iran made the decision not to send troops. That's not a Turkish betrayal. That's Iran making the decision not to send troops. Turkey didn't betray anybody. Turkey looked out for Turkey's national interests. There's a lot of emotions going on right now. But you have to understand that Turkey's a major player, has always been a major player. The Astana process was imposed on Turkey, and Turkey resented that. And you know who knows that the Astana process was imposed on Turkey? Russia and Iran, the governments. So I think we have to focus on what the governments say and not what emotionally charged people who aren't in government are saying. Even though that they're well-meaning, even though they believe in what they're saying, we have to be careful about politically charged rhetoric. I'm more interested in what the Iranian government says and what the Russian government says, because they have to deal with the new reality. Do you think Russia's looking for a fight with Turkey right now? I mean, Russia's winning in Ukraine, but you understand the price Russia has paid for this victory is very high. And now they're going to go to war against Turkey, a NATO member, because they pissed them off in Syria? No, it isn't going to happen. And Iran's not, Iran doesn't need a war right now. Iran doesn't want a war right now. Iran has a border with Turkey. Iran's going to have to, well, let me look at that. Yeah, I think, Iran does have a border with Turkey. And so, they have to live with Turkey. They have to live with that reality. Turkey is now, transformed Azerbaijan into a regional strategic ally. Iran has to deal with that reality because of the significant Azeri population that exists there. Armenia is an issue. Iran and Turkey are going to have to work together to resolve this thing peacefully so they don't have a war. Just because Syria fell doesn't mean now that Iran and Turkey are in a strategic impasse. Syria fell because of Bashar al-Assad. It didn't fall because of Turkey. It fell because it was corrupt to the core. It was a house of cards that presented itself as a brick building. Everybody, including myself, looked at Syria and said, it's going to stand. And it went down. How's that betrayal? Who did Turkey betray? I just want to know who Turkey betrayed and how they betrayed them.
Palestinians?
Please don't put Palestine on Turkey.
But
okay?
Lebanese, they have, because of their actions.
How did Turkey betray Lebanon? How did they betray Lebanon?
That's the problem.
What?
They're putting Lebanese and Hezbollah and Palestinians in a weaker position, but the way they're behaving in Syria and just putting these people in charge who couldn't live with each other. These people who are just running Syria.
So Assad didn't betray Palestine and Lebanese and all that by being a facade, by being corrupt, by being fake, by presenting himself as something that he wasn't. That's not a betrayal? Please don't put this on Turkey. I'm not here to defend Turkey, but Turkey didn't create the Palestinian problem. And Turkey's not responsible for the Palestinian solution.
But they're not doing anything to help them. This is the problem, Scott.
It's not their job to help Palestine. Turkey is Turkey. What about the Arabs? Last time I cut a Palestinian arm, it bled Arab blood. It didn't bleed Turkish blood. So why are you blaming Turkey when Egypt has a border with Gaza? What has Egypt done? Where's your blame for Egypt? Where's your blame for Jordan? Where's your blame for Syria? Where's your blame for Saudi Arabia, for all the other Arab countries? And you're putting it all on the Turkish back. How convenient. How convenient that it's Turkey's fault that the Arab world has betrayed the Palestinian cause. No, I'm not saying Turkey's perfect. I'm not saying they don't deserve criticism, but Turkey looks out for Turkey. Palestine is not part of Turkey. The Turks did what they could do, but at the end of the day, Turkey's not going to sell Turkey out for the Palestinians. The key here is Syria. Syria collapsed because of the corruption of Bashar al-Assad. And that's created a whole new reality that's not Turkey's fault. You know, the Palestine cause only got relevance because of the axis of resistance. The axis of resistance enabled there to be a hope of a Palestine. And it's gone now. It's gone. It's collapsed. It's not coming back. So let's not blame Turkey for all this. Let's put the blame where it stands with the Arab world. The Palestinians are Arabs. They've never had the backing of the Arab world. Why is it that Turks and Persians have to come to their assistance?
I think that Iran, if had the same mindset of Turkey right now, they would go after Armenia, Azerbaijan, which is so important right now in terms of Israeli presence in Azerbaijan, but they're not doing this. They're trying to talk with Turkey. They don't say that Bahrain is part of Iran because once it was part of Iran. Because the reality is different right now. The way that Turkey is behaving, that's why I'm thinking that they're just humiliating the axis of resistance by their actions. This is the problem. I know that the Arab world is not doing anything for Palestinians. Saudi Arabia is not doing anything, UAE, all of these countries. But at the end of the day, if these people, Palestinians, they need some sort of support, some sort of help, who's able to provide that? Is Iran, is Turkey, these powerful countries. Egypt was devastated by the United States. They're not capable of doing anything.
Why is it a Turkish problem to create Palestine?
Because
why does Turkey
have the sort of power to impose on the United States?
Why is it their problem, though? I'm just trying to say, what is in the national security interest of Turkey? I'm advising the Turkish president right now. Mr. President, we can put all of Turkey at risk to support the creation of an Arab entity that no Arab wants created. The United States doesn't want it created. Nobody wants it created, but I want you to sacrifice everything Turkey stands for, every potential Turkey has, to create something that nobody else wants. And he'd say, no. Or, Mr. President, you know, the Palestinian cause is a lost cause. Unfortunately, with the collapse of Israel right now, the axis of resistance is gone. We have to act in our own national security interests. We need to move to secure Idlib. We need to move to secure Aleppo. And, you know, we need to position ourselves to be able to make sure that the Kurdish problem doesn't manifest itself into a cross-border problem into us with the PKK. That's the conversation that has to take place inside Turkey. That's a far more important conversation from the Turkish perspective than let's sacrifice everything for a Palestinian state that nobody wants. This is not Turkey's fault. This is not Turkey's problem. This is an Arab problem, and the Arabs have betrayed the Palestinians straight up. There could be a Palestinian state if Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia said, we're going to make it happen. You want Turkey to put sweat equity, blood equity into the creation of a Palestinian state when no damn Arab nation's going to do that. I mean, it's mind-boggling that this is Turkey's problem. It's not. Turkey looks out for Turkey. Turkey did stuff. Look, there's no doubt. Every nation, I'll tell you right now, I was shocked when you get a hold of the intelligence files of countries to find out who they're talking to behind the scenes. There's no doubt that Turkey's been working with Israeli intelligence. No doubt. I mean, Turkish intelligence has done a lot of very bad things. If you remember Seymour Hersh's investigation into the chemical attack in Syria, it was the Turkish intelligence that facilitated the acquisition of sarin nerve agent by the al-Nusra Front. This is before HTS and Idlib even happened. Turkish intelligence did that. Turkish intelligence goes around and does bad things, just like the CIA goes around and does bad things, and the Mossad goes around and does bad things. Everybody's out there doing bad things. Bad things. I didn't say good things. I said bad things. I'm not saying this is good. I'm saying it's real. And there's no doubt that the Israelis and the Turkish intelligence were working on the undermining of Bashar al-Assad. Remember, Erdogan, again, Erdogan betrayed. He didn't betray anybody. He said in 2011, 2012 that Bashar al-Assad is a brutal dictator who's murdered his own people. Now, I don't agree with that assessment, but Erdogan publicly committed to that. Erdogan's the one that worked with the United States to get billions of dollars of weapons sent from Libya through Turkey poured in there. Erdogan's the one that worked with the CIA to fund this, with the U.S. military to fund this. This is what Erdogan was trying to achieve for over a decade. And now he's betrayed people because he achieved it, or at least it happened. And he's saying, okay, now we're ready to exploit this. What people thought is that Turkey had been strategically defeated, perhaps. That by signing the Astana Accords, Turkey ceased to exist as a sovereign state with independent foreign policy, independent national security objectives. But Turkey has never gone away. Those objectives still exist. Just because you have to make diplomatic compromises now because you're in a weaker position doesn't mean that the imperative goes away. And from the Turkish perspective, the imperative of Bashar al-Assad being removed is there because Turkey wants Aleppo. And you say, well, why would Turkey? Because from the Turkish perspective, Aleppo is Turkey. So is Mosul. I'm telling you right now, the Iraqi government better be careful, because the instability that's taking place right now in Syria could very well cross over into Baghdad. The weakening of the axis of resistance means that the Iranian support that props up the government, the Shia government in Baghdad right now, may not be as strong as it once was. If Iran starts reconsidering its strategic imperatives, you might find a situation where Iraq collapses into chaos and anarchy. And watch how quick Turkey moves into Mosul when that happens. Because Turkey believes that Mosul is part of Turkey. This ain't over, man. This is the beginning of something else. But we can sit there and smirk at Turkey believing that Mosul is Turkey. Do you smirk when the Russians say that Donbass is Russian? Why is it okay for the Russians to say Donbass is historically part of Russia?
They were killing people in Donbass. The Ukrainian government were killing people in Donbass, but these governments are not killing. The Iraqi government is not killing people in Mosul.
But Mosul is Turkey from the Turkish perspective. And they believe it was stolen from them by the British.
So this is the problem.
It's a huge problem.
Can Iran say that Armenia and Azerbaijan are part of Iran? Is that legitimate in your opinion?
Try. Are they saying it? Have they said it?
No, they don't need to say that, Scott. They don't need.
Because it's not part of Iran.
Yeah,
last time I checked, the Iranian border drawn at the end of World War I didn't move. They didn't lose Armenia. They didn't lose Azerbaijan. Armenia and Azerbaijan were part of the Russian Empire, not the Persian Empire.
Yeah.
So, I'm not defending the Turk. I'm not saying that what Turkey's doing is good. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that to sit there and suddenly blame everything on Turkey because Turkey looks out for Turkish interests is absurd. You may be opposed to the Turkish interests, but that's different than Turkey betraying people. Turkey has always had this position. They've been open about this position. And now that circumstances have arisen that allow Turkey to act on situations, to do things that Turkey has always said is in the best interest of Turkey, that doesn't mean it's in the best interest of Iran or of Russia or anybody else. Turkey doesn't exist to appease Iran, Russia, or anybody else. Turkey exists to benefit Turkey. And if it is such an, Iran has drawn a line, as we know. Iran has said, don't make that corridor. The Zanzibar corridor, to connect Turkey with Azerbaijan. Don't do it. That's an existential issue that we're willing to go to war for. So Iran has drawn a red line to defend that. But Idlib, who drew a red line in Aleppo? I mean, who's running to the defense of Aleppo? I haven't heard anybody complain when the Turkish flag was raised over Aleppo? Nobody. Iran didn't complain. I didn't hear it from Iran saying, "What are you doing raising the Turkish flag over Aleppo?" Russia didn't complain. America certainly didn't complain. It just happened. Turkey's doing what's in the interest of Turkey. Where there's pushback, then Turkey will, slow down. Like I said, I don't think Turkey's going to make this corridor because I don't think Turkey's looking for a fight with Iran. I don't think Iran's looking for a fight with Turkey either. And so there'll be compromise there. But is Iran going to come to the defense of Mosul? No. Who's going to come to the defense of Mosul? When Baghdad collapses, and again, I just want to remind people, the caliphate has been established. And the caliphate believes it has muscle memory. That, guys, there's a direct connection between Jolani and ISIS and what they did. There's a direct connection. Jolani used to fight out of Baghdad with Al-Qaeda. If you think this is it, if you don't understand that they are going to Iraq, at least that's their intention, you don't know anything. And when Baghdad falls and the black flag is raised over Baghdad, I can guarantee you the Turkish flag will be raised over Mosul and Kirkuk. That's just the way it is. It doesn't mean it's right. That's why all those who cheered the demise of Bashar al-Assad, I spit on them. I spit on you because you have no idea what you're cheering. We should have been working to keep Bashar al-Assad in power. We should have been working to lift the sanctions. We should have created a political environment where he could have done the military reforms that the Russians asked for, where he wouldn't have had to have Iranians coming in significant. Iran could have provided financial support. We should have created enough stability that China could have extended the Belts and Roads Initiative in there to begin the kind of reconstruction. That's what we should have done. That's what would have brought this peace and stability into the region. There would have been ways we should have been working for a Palestinian state a long time ago so that we didn't compel Sinwar to launch October 7th attack and create this. Because everything that's happening here is because of October 7th. Sinwar started something in motion that was designed to create a Palestinian state. But in order to create a Palestinian state, it had to create so much regional chaos and anarchy that Israel would be strategically defeated. Because only through the strategic defeat of Israel can you get a Palestinian state. Because Israel is steadfast opposed to it. Sinwar initiated that. But, you roll the dice, sometimes the numbers don't come up the way you want them to. Things were looking good. I mean, it was a horrible price that's being paid, but nations were starting to recognize the Palestinian state. There was a movement towards that. There was a recognition that Israel couldn't sustain what it was doing. One of the reasons why Israel couldn't sustain what it was doing is because Syria was under the control of Bashar al-Assad and provided the physical, geographic, and political continuity of this entity called the Axis of Resistance, which was defeating Israel strategically. Assad's gone now. Syria's gone. Everything has changed. Everything has changed. And we can't sit there and Sinwar gambled. He's dead. And it's the Palestinian people that are trapped in the middle. This is as tragic gets. This is as tragic gets. So many people have died. But the hope was that their deaths would not have been in vain. That from their sacrifice, a Palestinian state could have been raised. I don't see how we get there now. Because again, the key component of creating a Palestinian state is the strategic defeat of Israel. And as Netanyahu said, he's trying to take credit for it, and we'll never know until the true story is told about who was conspiring with whom. But the conditions don't exist, and you can't say, well, Turkey needs to step in now and sacrifice everything to create a Palestinian state. It's not in Turkey's national interests. The Palestinians are Arabs. If anything, this is where Egypt steps up. This is where Jordan steps up. And they have to step up now and say, no, Israel, no, you don't get to reverse this. We need to create a Palestinian state. Watch how quick Saudi Arabia is dumping them. They always dump them. No one will step up for the Palestinians. No one. Even Europe, all those nations that sat there and said, we're supporting a Palestinian state. Watch how quickly Donald Trump's coming in, and Europe's going to start looking out for European interests. Spain will reverse course in an instant. The second Trump says, you got to stop that Palestinian recognition thing, or else we put 100% tariffs on you. Spain will go, oh, Palestine what? Palestinian who? And the Palestinians will be betrayed once again. And I think this time, however, the Palestinians will be dispersed into diaspora. There will be no Palestinian homeland left. Israel will go full hog on of dismantling the West Bank. There won't be a West Bank. Gaza's dead. Gaza's dead. Hamas, this is as demoralizing as it gets, because the lifeline for Hamas was Hezbollah, was Iran. It's gone. And they'll struggle for as long as they can, but this is the end of Hamas. And then what happens to the Palestinian people? Trump comes in, I can guarantee you the pressure will be placed on all regions. Biden was dead set against the depopulation of Gaza. Trump will support that 100%. And that's the end of it. They're going to evict everybody out of Gaza. Gaza will become a Israeli territory. The West Bank will be depopulated or taken over, absorbed. And you want Turkey to step in and say, no, this isn't going to happen? The United States wants it to happen now. Trump wants it to happen. I was hopeful that it couldn't happen because the Axis of Resistance was strategically defeating Israel. I thought that the Trump administration would come in and be doing hospice over Israel and then be compelled to find a compromise, through a Palestinian state. That was my hope and desire. I was happy about this. I wanted this to happen. But now you look at it, it's not going to happen. No matter how much you want it to happen, it's not going to happen. And seeking desperate solutions, like saying Turkey must intervene on behalf of the Palestinian people. Why is it Turkey's problem? Turkey should have, I believe, when the Axis of Resistance was having success a long time ago, cut off the oil to Israel. Turkey should have done that. But Turkey, again, from the Turkish perspective, the economic hit they would take and the geopolitical hit they would take in support of the creation of something that apparently nobody else wants created. I mean, God, I'd hate to be a Palestinian today. Imagine how alone they feel, abandoned by everybody. Everybody has abandoned them. There's no one out there speaking out on behalf of Palestine today. Not one nation state. Spain has recognized Palestine. Put the Spanish Navy at sea with Marines to come in and occupy Palestine, occupy Gaza, and guarantee the existence of Palestine. They aren't going to do it. No one is. Hezbollah died for them, fought for them. The Iranians fought for them. But they've been defeated because a key aspect of the Axis of Resistance was Bashar al-Assad's Syria. And it's gone. So, there we are. We can throw darts where we want to, but you can't undo that. And so,
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another new video. In this video, Discord Ritter has one of US-based attack Iran. I just Nukes and I made Turkish strategy. So guys, if you would like to watch more related videos which are described by Scott Ritter and other other narrator like Scott Ritter, then you can subscribe my channel and like each and every of my videos.
Help!
Now let's watch what Scott Ritter has described. Well, guys, in my channel I basically upload war related videos. Which are described. Which are basically described by Scott Ritter, Douglas McGregor, and other. Yes, keep watching my channel. If you like to watch or related video, then this is the best channel for you. Because in my channel I daily upload this type of content. So I hope this video will be enjoyable for you. So you can watch each and every videos. Scott Ritter is an ex-army officer of US military. He much worry about ongoing war. So if you want to be updated about war, then this is the best channel for you, because in this channel only this type of videos has uploaded. Thank you guys who are still watching. Special thanks to them. They are very good humble person who are still watching my channel. I love them. So guys, this is the time for end of my this video, because this video is enough long. So I'll be back with another video next time. Keep happy and healthy. So be healthy and wealthy and gain knowledge. So now I am going to end this video from my end. So I'm requesting you to, if you watch, then you give a like and comment in comment section. So I'll be very happy if you do this. Thank you. I'll be back in the video next time. Bye for now. God will help you. Thank you. Keep watching my channel on YouTube. Thank you for watching until the end.